Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, Right Honorable Amadou Umaru Fintri, ably represented by Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of the state, Professor Kaleta Blessing Farauta, the Head of Service, beg your pardon, the Chief of Staff, Dr. Edgar, the Jagaban Gabas of Adamawa, the Head of Service, Pharmacist, Shehu Addo, the Majority Leader in the Adamawa State House of Assembly, and the only female member of the House, Honorable Kate Mamno, our eminent distinguished invitees here, Mrs. Christine Mbale Tarfa Ngubane, several names in one, representing the Chief Judge of Adamawa State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm extremely delighted to be at this meeting. It is a mobilization meeting. I beg your pardon, Dr. Dogo, I beg your pardon. Our main convener and all the planners for this event, headed by Dr. Victor Dogo. Thank you very much for convening this event, and thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here. When I came in, I was wondering what I had got myself into. I looked far older than the people I saw around, and I didn't see my age mates. I see a lot of ladies here. It looks like a ladies' meeting with a few sprinkling of men. Well, this is what the society has become. The ladies are the vanguard of our society. And we pray that the ladies will show us the way forward as a nation, as a people. It is a great honor for me to be at this occasion. I sincerely appreciate the invitation to speak on the crucial subject, using the exemplary leadership of His Excellency, Governor Amadou Umaru Fintri, as a case study. It was President J.F. Kennedy who said, do not ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. This is an apt statement for the consideration of our topic. In a similar manner, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Talking to youths who are looking in the future, these are defining questions for us. Nelson Mandela, who is become an avatar when it comes to leadership, spent 27 years in prison. And when he was released, he chose not to revenge, but to unite South Africa. He intentionally, deliberately, willingly, and wholly gave up political power, a thing that is anathema in Africa, after just one term, to a younger generation, so that they could keep the great leadership model going. He demonstrated true leadership, that it is not about self-interest, but it is about selfless service. Here in Nigeria, we've had glimmers of great leadership. General Murtala Mohammed shook Nigeria, for instance, like no other leader did. On the morning of his ascendance to power as the military head of state and commander-in-chief, Chinua Achebe captured this in his trouble with Nigeria. He said the trouble with Nigeria is simply and squarely a failure of leadership. There is nothing wrong with the Nigerian character. There is nothing wrong with the Nigerian land or climate or water or air or anything else. The Nigerian problem is the unwillingness or inability of its leaders to rise to responsibility, to the challenge of personal example, which are the hallmarks of true leadership. On the morning after Murtala Mohammed seized power in July 1975, Public servants in Lagos were found on seat exactly at 7:30 in the morning. Even the go-slow traffic that had defeated every solution and defied every regime vanished overnight from the streets. Why? The new ruler's reputation for ruthlessness was sufficient to transform in the course of only one night the style and habit of Nigeria's unruly capital. The character of one man could establish that quantum change. Behavior was nothing less than miraculous, but it shows that social miracles can happen. We know, alas, that transformation was short-lived. It had begun to fade even before the tragic assassination of Murtala Mohammed. In the final analysis, a leader's no-nonsense reputation might induce a favorable climate, but in order to effect lasting change, it must be followed up with a radical program of social and economic reorganization, or at least a well-considered and consistent agenda of reform, which Nigeria stood and stands in dire need of. I'm not here recommending ruthlessness as a necessary qualification for Nigerian leadership. Quite on the contrary, what I'm saying is that Nigeria is not beyond change. I'm saying that Nigeria can change today if she discovers leaders who have the will, the ability, and the vision. Such people are rare in any time or place. But it is the duty of enlightened citizens, like what we have today here, to lead the way in their discovery and to create an atmosphere conducive to their emergence. If this conscious effort is not made, good leaders, like good money, will be driven out by the bad. End of quote. Today, however, we focus on a man who has defied the odds and prioritized the well-being of his people over political interests, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri. Selfless service in leadership is the ability to make sacrifices, to remain committed to the common good, and to make decisions that benefit the people, even at personal cost. It is the quality that distinguishes transformational leaders from those merely occupying political positions. Selfless service in leadership is not about titles, positions, or personal wealth. It is about sacrifice, integrity, vision, and unwavering commitment to the people. True leaders prioritize the needs of their citizens over personal ambitions and work tirelessly to uplift the society. Today, we analyze Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri's leadership example to understand how selfless service has shaped his governance and its impact on Adamawa State. Key areas of the selflessness of Governor Ahmadu's service. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri's political journey is one of resilience and purpose. From his time as the Speaker of the Adamawa State House of Assembly to becoming the acting governor in 2014, well, first of all in 2012, then in 2014, and in 2019 and 2023, 4 times governor, and later being elected. And later being elected as the executive governor, his leadership has been characterized by selfless service. I find distinctive that our man of destiny, Governor Fintri, is a man of vision. Vision is the driver of wholesome activities and accomplishments for a state and its people. It is possible to have vision and yet not see. Helen Keller, that great woman who was born deaf and dumb, was asked one day, is there anything worse than blindness? And she said, yes, there is. Is to be able to have eyes and not see. So it is possible to have eyes and not see. To achieve a vision, there must be a process. It is said in private life, set smart goals. Set goals that are specific, that are measurable, that are achievable, that are relevant and reliable, and that are time-bound. This also you've got to do for government. Governor Pintri set out his blueprint in his 11-point agenda during his first term and his 8-point agenda during the second term. The key points in the agenda are: 1, security of lives and property; 2, education and capital development; 3, healthcare and human services; 4, transparency and accountability; 5, improved internally generated revenue; 6, rural infrastructure, urban renewal; 7, water supply; 8, agricultural development and food security; 9, youth and women development; 10, commerce and industry; 11, environment and climate change. We are working now on the 8-point agenda. Governor Pintri is, above all else, a master political strategist. As a strategist, he forged a delicate coalition of members of the House of Assembly to become the Speaker and maintain that position against the executive between 2011 and 2015. He maintained this feat throughout that term and engaged the same coalition in the removal of the governor in 2014. His equally deft political moves were seen in 3 major and critical areas. 1, the settlement of salary arrears owed to civil servants. Civil servants had been owed salaries of 2 months by the government between 2012 and 2014, following a labor crisis. This became the subject of religious prayers for redress in churches and mosques. As soon as Governor Ahmadu Umaru Pintri became acting governor in 2014, he promptly paid off the outstanding salaries, thus endearing himself to civil servants and by extension the populace. This immediately earned him the popular sobriquet, ATM governor. Build up to 2023 elections. The second incident was more titanic. The APC came into the 2019 elections with a huge war chest and a formidable candidate who had an impressive political track record and had worsted powerful main adversaries to clinch the governorship nomination as the APC candidate. The icing on the cake was the support she had from the government at the center and the personal support of the incumbent president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria at the time, who personally appealed to stakeholders to ensure that she was returned at the polls. Political analysts concluded that the election was sealed and a done deal, with the challenger having all the aces. However, the master strategist came up with his own ace, his MasterCard. He needed reinforcement of a special elite type. He needed a trailblazer, a formidable woman with a high record of achievement and visibility, a woman of substance, an Amazon, a warrior with a quiet mien but indomitable spirit, a counterforce to a hurricane to counter the advantage of the opponent. It was a masterstroke. Ahmadu Umaru Pintri drafted Professor Karetapa Farauta, who had a track record of notable achievements, chairperson of the Atsube, Honorable Commissioner in the Ministry of Education, and Vice Chancellor, who had turned around the Adamawa State University from a state of decay to a vibrant academic institution that was beginning to be noticed at national level as his deputy governorship candidate. Overnight, the maestro broke the bloc support of women for the APC candidate, and the rest, as they say, is history. His finest hour. The last vestiges of the colonial administration and feudalism were the imposed traditional system, which subjugated many nationalities with large populations under alien domination through indirect rule. Except for Fofore Emirate, all the other 6 emirates created by Ahmadu Umaru Pintri in 2024 were caught in the web of the suffocating system. All attempts to grant autonomy and self-determination in past failed. In 1983, during the stint by Governor Wilberforce Bafta Juta, chiefdoms were created, but dissolved by the administration of Alhaji Bamanga Tukur and buried by the coup d'etat of General Buhari on 31st of December 1983. Two other attempts were made under Governors Yohana Madaki and Jonah David Jang between 1985 and 1987 to create chiefdoms, but both suffered the same fate. Then entered the emancipator. He worked quietly through his first term and made adequate preparations for the exercise. No stone was left unturned in the process of ensuring a smooth delivery. And then, with lightning speed and strategic appointments of popular candidates as chiefs and emirs, this Gordian knot was broken effortlessly. The slate was clean once again. The joy of the masses was palpable, the euphoria accelerating. A new era had dawned. Ahmadu Umaru Fintri had accomplished what had hitherto seemed impossible. He had released the majority of people from over half of the state from the stranglehold of feudalism. This was unquestionably his finest hour. Ahmadu Umaru Fintri has a laser-sharp focus and an uncanny ability to place his finger on the critical issues. He is able to see the central issues in any given situation. He is precise. He is critical. This is central to his success as a chief executive. He listens and strives to understand, and once he does, he acts instantly. He is solution-driven and will not allow himself to be paralyzed by analysis. On one occasion, I wrote a legal opinion for a client in respect of a judgment of the Supreme Court that had polarized the parties. This was the case of the Attorney General of Adamawa State and John Aware. Initially, the governor held the view that was contrary to the legal opinion. However, when he read the opinion, he immediately saw the heart of the decision and drew his own conclusion. Leaders are indeed readers, and Ahmadu Umaru Fintri reads. He thinks, he welcomes ideas, he presses for solutions. His is a hands-on leadership style, the type that will turn around the fortunes of our country. Ahmadu Umaru Fintri is a man of peace and great faith. As governor, he refused to allow the state to burn during the most brazen and provocative broad daylight robbery of his electoral mandate in what was unarguably the most disruptive and trying event of his entire political career. He appealed to the citizens for calm and followed the legal process to ensure that the larceny did not stand. When in 2011, he mustered a coalition that sacked the speaker, who was supported by the executive, and became the Speaker of the House of Assembly, policemen sealed off the premises of the House of Assembly for several months. A constitutional crisis was in full bloom. He waited and bided his time. The election tribunal annulled the election of the governor then, and overnight, he became the acting governor. His comment was caught. The governor refused to allow me to take my position as the speaker. God removed him and gave me his position of governor. His Excellency Ahmadu Umaru's leadership is merit-based. He has the remarkable quality to appoint people based on competence rather than tribal or religious affiliations. This has strengthened governance in Adamawa State and created an inclusive administration. He has developed people-centered policies in education, in healthcare, and infrastructure, expanding the road networks, rural electrification, and urban development. This has earned him the most outstanding awards of his tenure as the best performing governor in infrastructural development in 2 years, back-to-back, 2022 and 2023, by two presidents from the opposition political party. He has spent a lot of energy and time and resources on security, and this has been demonstrated in the lives, improved lives of the citizenry. He has committed himself to economic and social development, handling political pressures with integrity, allowing a legacy of service over political gain. He committed himself to selfless, personal selfless service over political gain. He has faced challenges and criticisms. While Governor Fintri has made significant strides in leadership, leadership is not without criticisms. Some common concerns include party loyalty issues. He has been criticized as having rewarded defectors over long-term loyalists. He has been perceived to be temperamental. He has been perceived to hold grudges. And it's been claimed that he does not forget any wrongs done to him. However, the true index of leadership is not perfection. It means acknowledging weaknesses while remaining focused on the goal of serving the people. Governor Fintri is human, but he has demonstrated resilience in the face of these criticisms, proving that leadership is about results, not approval. The outcomes of his self-led leadership have been numerous. Positive outcomes are improved peace and social cohesion, reduced ethnic and religious conflicts, visible infrastructural transformation, better governance and accountability, and etc. The enthronement of meritocracy, lessons for other leaders and citizens. The principles of selfless service are not limited to political leadership. Every citizen, entrepreneur, religious leader, professional can contribute to societal growth by prioritizing service over self-interest. Young leaders and women like us must be encouraged to lead with integrity, to focus on service rather than personal enrichment, to build a legacy that outlives them. Governor Fintri's leadership should serve as a model for others who aspire to lead with purpose. Consolidation and succession. It is often said that there is no success without a successor. John Maxwell said that success without a successor is ultimately failure. It is therefore the greatest challenge of his distinguished and exceptionally transforming leadership example for Governor Fintri to lead the search and ensure by all legitimate means the emergence of his successor. If, as we heard during the 2023 campaigns, that one aspirant allegedly said that he would pull down all the flyovers in the metropolis should he be elected as governor, that kind of individual as a successor will be a disaster for the state. Metaphorically speaking, Fintri should ensure that a flyover destroyer in any aspect of his laudable achievements does not succeed him. His choice of a successor should be as transparent and objective as he demonstrated in the appointments of the kings and emirs in the 7 newly created chiefdoms, round pegs in round holes. A successor must possess exceptional qualities, not the least of which are vision, bold, intrepid, fearless. A man who will neither succumb to blackmail nor be intimidated by anybody. He must possess a good reputation and must be of impeccable character. Such a person should be marketable. He must fear God, and this must be clearly attested to. He must not be greedy, one that seeks to enrich himself through the control of government levers. He was the one who has demonstrated by his antecedents that he has the interests of the masses at heart. He is one who has had requisite experience in public and private sectors and knows the intricacies of good and bad governance and the tricks that are employed by crooked leaders to drain the public treasury. He must be one who is committed to genuine public treasury, to genuine change, one who is ready to listen to advice, one who is accountable to his constituents, one who is sincere, open-minded, and a man of integrity. Such a person should be detribalized and must work towards inclusivity in faith and ethnicity. As I close, All of you who are at the back, please, as I close, do listen to this. Are we together? What Nigeria needs today are not rulers. What Nigeria needs today are martyrs. And this is how I support this point as I close. Part of Nigeria's leadership challenge is not that people are inclined to look at the politics, I beg your pardon. Part of Nigeria's leadership challenge is that people are inclined to look at the political players and not the challenges of the game, the seriousness of the business of governance. Aspirants to leadership positions are mostly driven by vain, vaulting ambition than by vision. They look not at the size of the assignment, but at the pedigree of the incumbents and ask themselves, if so-and-so can be governor, why not me? That explains the utter lack of progress in governance today. Leadership for such people is about personal aggrandizement and not about transformation, change, progress, or selfless service. The bane of leadership example today is that people want rulers over a timid, supine, prostrate, and defeated populace, when what is called for is an altruistic, selfless, sacrificial leadership. Nigeria does not need heroes. It does not need rulers. It needs martyrs. I believe our man of destiny, Governor Fintri, when he reached the point that he declared, I will die for Adamawa State if necessary. This is the ultimate leadership commitment and example. Governor Fintri's services to the people, accolades and endearing sobriquets. ATM governor, fresh air governor, project master, barrier breaker, and perhaps greatest of all, the emancipator. He is resourceful, he is courageous, he is dogged, he is tenacious, he is resilient, he is indefatigable. A real bulldog, and no disrespect intended. He has demonstrated that he is one of the most excellent political players in the country. Adamawa State export him to the nation. I didn't hear you. Adamawa State must exhort him to the nation. This is what was lacking in that riveting and long-awaited memoir of former president, military president Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, A Journey in Service. In spite of his great services and legacy to the country, Babangida failed abysmally at the most crucial moment, the moment of truth. He knew the truth about the outcome of June 12th election, as he himself confessed in the book, that Abiola won the election clean and fair, but lacked the courage of conviction to stand up for the truth and be counted. He succumbed to blackmail and intimidation. No wonder Abdul Oro, in his review of the book in the magazine Source, called him the coward of the Niger. What a tragic epitaph to an otherwise remarkable life of service. It is gratifying to note that our inimitable man of destiny, Amadou Fintri, got to this point in December 2024 during the creation of chiefdoms. There were physical traits of assassination. There were divinations. There were incantations. There was sorcery. But he neither blinked nor flinched. History will be kind to him. Mandela's immortal words in his allocutions during his trial and conviction for treason and felony are relevant here. During my lifetime, Mandela said, I have dedicated myself to the struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I've fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony with equal opportunities. It is an ideal for which I hope to live and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal I am prepared to die for. The beauty of it is that a leader who is prepared to die for his people often lives to see his liberation as Mandela did. As I conclude, I challenge every leader, every woman, every youth present here, political, religious, business, community leaders, to embrace selfless service. True service is not about how much wealth you amass, but about the lives you transform and impact. If Nigeria is to rise to its challenges, we must adopt a leadership style that prioritizes the people's needs above personal gain and ambition. John Maxwell said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Governor Ahmadu Fintri has shown us the way, a path of selfless service, integrity, and visionary leadership. I hope, it is my hope, that more leaders from this hall will arise and beyond amongst us with the same spirit, leading not for themselves, but for the betterment of society. I thank you.